Hello, and welcome to this new season of Music at Noon. My name is Daniel Cabina, and I have the honor and, I must say, the pleasure of being your host for this season of concerts. As you can see, we have gathered today for this season's inaugural Faculty of Music Showcase concert in a new way. Our wonderful players and singers have recorded their performances live here in the intimate and beautiful acoustic of our Maureen Forrester Recital Hall. And these performances are being broadcast out to you, our audience, our community of listeners, in this moment, on our accustomed day, and at our accustomed hour, Thursdays at noon. This will be our practice throughout the season. It is thanks to the tireless work of the Faculty of Music's administration and our facilities management team that our performers and I are able to be in this beautiful hall in person and to make our recordings here. Thanks to their ongoing efforts, in consultation with the university at large and the Pandemic Recovery Steering Group, we are able to be present here in safety, and we are following careful health and safety regulations and protocols. We very much hope that wherever you may find yourselves, you are keeping safe and well. It is always, but especially in this particular moment, a privilege and a joy to gather together with friends and colleagues to celebrate music, learning, and community. And it is a privilege to gather together in this place, acknowledging that Wilfrid Laurier University's campuses are built on the Haldimand Tract, the traditional territory of the neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples. This land is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Indigenous peoples, whom we recognize, honor, and respect as its traditional stewards. This land, which continues to sustain us in our work of teaching and learning and of music making, is also home to a great diversity of human beings, whom we at WLU, in our community of listeners, learners, and creators, celebrate and seek steadfastly to include. Whoever we are and wherever we are, here we are. And we are here together, gathered virtually, but really, around the joy of music and music making. And this new format of our gathering will allow us ongoingly to share our joy and our work with you, our cherished audience, new and returning. And it will allow us also to welcome into our midst listeners from far and wide. May this community of ours thrive and grow. I am grateful to count myself as part of this community. I teach in the voice area of the Faculty of Music, where quite a few moons ago already I was a student. And in fact, my father, Barry Cabina, who is Professor Emeritus of this faculty, where for, I believe, 27 years he taught church music, theory and counterpoint, composition, organ performance, along with conducting the chapel choir, brought me here for violin lessons with Alec Catherwood before this building had been built. And I heard my first concerts here. Concerts of chamber music and opera, wind and brass ensemble music, jazz, improvised contemporary music, and especially near and dear to my heart, early music. So many wonderful concerts right here. Later, I made the very short trek from Waterloo Collegiate Institute, where I was a student, for violin lessons with Jerzy Kaplanek. And then, thanks to Jerzy's teaching and, I must say, saintly patience, I was admitted to the undergraduate music program as a violin student. I later answered the siren song of, well, singing, and I auditioned for the voice program, through which I was blessed to be guided by Daniel Lichty. My upbringing and education in the welcoming embrace of the WLU community were more enriching than I could possibly express. And I am honored and grateful to be able to share in this community now as a teacher of singing in the Faculty of Music and at the Beckett School at Laurier. And I'm delighted at this opportunity to play host to our Music at Noon concerts, these special moments at which we gather each week. In this first concert of the 2020-2021 season, we have a beautiful program before us of performances by Gerard Yun, Guy Few and Stephanie Mara, Leslie Fagan and Lauren Shalanko, and the Penderecki String Quartet. Our program also includes a performance by Glenn Carruthers, retired Dean of Music, who will also offer us a few remarks as we begin this season. We extend our gratitude to Glenn for his 10 years as Dean of Music and for his guidance, gentle, inclusive, encouraging, bold, and brave. We are grateful also for his participation in today's program, and we look forward to his performance of Busoni's transcription of Bach's chorale prelude on the Ich ruf zu dir hymn, I call to you, Lord Jesus Christ, with which today's program will conclude. We are also grateful for the presence today of our acting Dean of Music, Dr. Anna Ferenc, who has been so ably and reassuringly shepherding us through the unsettled weather of these times, and whom I'll invite now to offer a few words of welcome.
Thank you, Daniel. Welcome, everyone, to this first concert of the Music at Noon series in 2020-2021, coming to you from the Maureen Forrester Recital Hall at Wilfrid Laurier University. My name is Dr. Anna Ferenc, and I am the acting dean of the Faculty of Music. We are pleased to offer you safely this series of quality music performances that our loyal concert attendees have come to know and love, albeit in a somewhat altered format online during this year of pandemic. Our concerts will be recorded and accessible like this one on our Faculty of Music YouTube channel. Upcoming concert information will be available on our concert calendar online. While we look forward to the day when we may once again gather in person to celebrate music, we are nevertheless grateful for the technology that enables us to continue to share our passion with you and to reach a wider global audience at a time when the healing balm of music is needed more than ever in this world. If you cannot come to us, we are delighted to come to you wherever you may be. Thank you for joining us today at our first online concert of the season and for welcoming us into your home. This concert is an annual favorite, the Faculty of Music Showcase. I invite you to sit back comfortably and experience the exceptional talent of our faculty members who inspire our music students every day. Enjoy.
And now, let's turn our attention towards the music of our program. We begin with a performance by Gerard Yun, assistant professor in the community music area of our faculty. Gerard brings to his teaching and music making a great diversity of experience, and he plays and sings in a great many styles and traditions. Today he offers us Su Koku, a traditional Zen honkyoku, or original song, which he will play on the Japanese shakuhachi. Without further ado, Gerard Yun. How lucky we are to have in our midst the dynamic duo of Guy Few and Stephanie Mara. Guy and Stephanie have toured our country widely, sharing their joy and vivacity generously. And today, they'll share with us also an arrangement by Donald Hunsberger, conductor of the Eastman Wind Ensemble, of Believe Me If All Those Endearing Young Charms. This arrangement celebrates the tradition of American cornet playing, and its melody may be familiar to some as a collegiate song under the title Fair Harvard. It is a traditional Irish melody to which the Irish poet Thomas Moore composed a new text in 1808. I gather that he serenaded his beloved wife Elizabeth with this song, and I'm quite excited that we are to be jointly serenaded with it today by Guy and Stephanie. Giuseppe Verdi's La Traviata, based on Alexandre Dumas' novel La Dame aux Camélias, is one of the masterworks of the operatic canon. And the scene that you are about to hear, Violetta's aria from the end of Act 1, is itself one of the repertoire's most touching. Here we find Violetta acknowledging within herself the flickering flame of a new and unaccustomed love. A love for Alfredo, who has been keeping watch by her sickbed during a recent illness from which she is enjoying but a short reprieve. Will she turn her life upside down to make room for this new love? Or Would such a thing compromise her identity too much? We'll have the pleasure of hearing Leslie Fagan incarnating Violetta for us today, in the company of pianist Lauren Shalanko. Leslie studied this role with one of its renowned interpreters, the Romanian soprano Ileana Cotrubas, whose 1985 recording of the piece, under Carlos Kleiber and with the Bavarian State Orchestra, Leslie considers as the gold standard. Leslie also calls our ears to a particular insight, to Verdi's adoration of the human voice. Laurier's own Penderecki String Quartet will now play the first movement of Beethoven's String Quartet, Opus 59, number 3, in C major. This opus of quartets was written for Prince Andrei Razumovsky, a key diplomat and patron of the arts. As it happens, like the Thomas Moore song previously mentioned, Beethoven's Opus 59 was published in 1808, which was also the year in which Prince Razumovsky, himself an accomplished violinist, would establish a string quartet for his household in Vienna. Musicologists have discovered some evidence of haste in Beethoven's composition of these works. The listener, in any case, may well perceive exhilaration here. Perhaps it's the excitement of discovery or travel. Certainly of playful, ingenious, and often unexpected conversation. The Penderecki String Quartet are now celebrating their 33rd season. So they have had many years together of musical conversation. And since 1991, the Wilfrid Laurier University community has had the pleasure of partaking in this delightful and insightful discourse. Without further ado, the PSQ. The final work on today's program is a transcription for piano by Ferruccio Busoni of Bach's Chorale Prelude, BWV 639, Ich ruf zu dir, Herr Jesu Christ. I call on you, Lord Jesus Christ. The original is to be found in Bach's Orgelbüchlein, or Little Organ Book, and the hymn on which it was based was written by the early 16th century theologian Johann Agricola. I invite you now to listen to Glenn Carruthers' interpretation of this work, along with some words of welcome.
Hi there, my name is Glenn Carruthers. I'm the retiring Dean of the Faculty of Music. I know many of you, but I don't know some of you. This is my first time in the building in 6 months, which is in fact the longest I've been away from the building for the past 10 years. And you can imagine it's quite bittersweet returning here. The building is very quiet right now, of course. And I think about all of the things that happen upstairs, the music history classes, the music theory classes, the oral skills, the list goes on and on and on. And I'm thinking about the fact that really the point of our curriculum, the point of all of those classes is to make music manifest. It's to make music heard. And so, in a very real sense, here the Maureen Forrester Recital Hall is the center of all we do. It's here that we sometimes talk about music, but mostly we stop talking about music and we in fact create music. And that's what I will do now is perform for you a work by Bach, Ich ruf zu dir, a chorale prelude that has been arranged for piano by Busoni. And it struck me, just as I was preparing a few minutes ago, that this is an appropriate piece to play. It's actually appropriate for a number of different reasons, but not the least of which, the very first time I played on this stage, many years ago, it was a different Bach chorale prelude, but again, arranged by Busoni. So I've in a sense, created parentheses around my several performances in the hall with these two Bach chorale preludes. So here is Ich ruf zu dir, I call to thee.
Many thanks to today's performers, to Gerard, Stephanie, Guy, Leslie, Lauren, Jeremy, Jerzy, Christine, Katie, and Glenn. And thanks to the Faculty of Music and to our facilities management team, and especially to John, Pete, and Matt, Andrew, Carissa, and Leslie for making this series possible. And thanks to you, our audience, near and far, returning and new. I very much look forward to being with you again next week, when we shall have the pleasure of welcoming once again into our midst the Penderecki String Quartet to play Beethoven. So, until next time, be safe and be well and be making music.